This podcast is brought to you by Hoare Chartered Accountants. Hoare Chartered Accountants are based in Galway City and are a leading provider of audit, accountancy and taxation services. For more information, visit hoarecharteredaccountants.ie. So joined now by Williamstown manager Sean Keaveney ahead of the Junior 1 county final between Williamstown and Carna Cashel this weekend. The action gets underway on Saturday evening at 5:30 and the game being live on Stream Sport as well. Sean, after last year in Everton, I'm sure there's huge excitement building now in Williamstown ahead of this final.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Everyone's really looking forward to it. There's a great buzz around the town. As you said, after last year, disappointment, so we're just trying to get back up again, and I think the lads deserve it too, but with one big game now, Carna Cashel, it'll be a tough one.
Overall, so far, you're obviously happy enough to the way the years went to be here anyways?
Oh yeah, we are running the league now. We got to the league semi-final. Clonberne gave us a bit of a clip and then in the league semi-final. And we went back training and prepared in for the first game at Headford, which was another tussle, big tussle. It was a draw match at the end. But we knew then it wasn't going to be simple. We knew before that, but Headford a good team, So we just kept chipping along. Ballinasloe game then. We were lucky to get out of Ballinasloe with a 1-point win. Very lucky that evening. Then we played Kilreardon. We were over Kilreardon by a couple of points. It was a good tear tussle at home, Williamstown. And then we had a win over Athenry. And then we had to face into Headford again. So tough games. But the final against Headford was a brilliant game. Tough game down to the wire. We were just delighted to get out the right end of it, at the end, so thank God.
Are you able to make any sense of that Hepford game at all? Just with everything that happened and it going to penalties and everything?
I don't know. On the day, you couldn't enjoy on the sideline. You just couldn't. It was up and down, pint for pint, pint up, pint down. Next thing, extra time, we got 3 pints, they got a 2-pinter, pint in it again and up and down. Oh man, next thing penalties. So thank God we got over the line. Jack saved 2 penalties and the 4 boys converted their penalties. Couldn't have asked any more of them. They ran themselves into the ground that day against Headford. The legs were gone. At the end got it.
Just with everything that happened in that Hepford game there, as you mentioned, and even penalties, your side really has to go to the well a few times, didn't they?
Oh, definitely. Jeez. Headford could have won the game. There's no denying that. They could have pipped it. We had chance to win it. Headford had chances and pressure on lads. We had 1 or 2 kicks at the end to win it. It could have gone either way. It was hard. It was hard on Headford at the end, to go out on the way they went out, in fairness. If it was another way around, to be hard to take it, losing on penalties. It's tough, but that's the way rules, that's the rules now, so, put it, been a replay would have been well awarded for the 2 teams, in fairness. So, would have.
For yourselves, Sean, in Williamstown, how have you been able to get things back on track and bounce back so quickly? Because obviously it was a setback last year getting relegated, considering you'd been an established intermediate club really for the last decade.
Yeah, we're actually 20 years ago since we got up there, and we had a few good years. 2017 we had a brilliant year, we got to the final, and a few of that team have left us. There's a lot of lads in Australia. So after last year, the lads were down. They were disappointed with themselves. They knew they were very disappointed with themselves, and they were willing to put it right this year and have a right good coach. And we got a lad in from Headford 19 and training us, and very organised. We got back training hard, and they started enjoying. They started winning a game or 2, and they started enjoying it again, which was a big thing, I think, get to win a few games. And we just got improved every week, and we built on it, and we talked a good bit about it, and thank God we are where we are, and hopefully we can finish the job. There's great heart in them lads. There's great out fighting them. They don't walk away from a fight, like, They stand up and.
That's the thing, isn't it? Even you look at those group games against Hepford, Killare and Ballinasloe, Athenry, and even beating Hepford dramatically in that penalty shootout. It's probably giving you a chance to build momentum and get confidence back into these players.
Definitely confidence. Definitely, yeah, 100%. I'd say the confidence levels have gone up. Definitely in the last couple of weeks over that, yeah, definitely. You can see it in the lads. It was like his monkey off the back, as you could say. Like, it's just the pressure was off them after winning that one, so just feel good about themselves, and they hope to do for the parish now the weekend. So keep going.
You mentioned Jack Donlan there in goals, Stephen Raftery, Gary Kelly, these players, still key players for your side.
Oh, Jack is a good goalie. Yeah, he saved penalties last year. I was actually doing umpire last year. He saved 2 penalties in a game, and my confidence was up when we went to penalties. I said he could be the hero today. So you have Tom Comer there, full back. He's soldiering there for years. Tom Flynn midfield. Mikey Lyons flying it. You've lads going well this year that didn't go well last year. You know what I mean? It's just they found a bit of momentum, and they're playing. They're just getting going. A few wins in the league, like, done the world of good. So it did.
Just a word on Gary Kelly. I think throughout the last decade, he's been an unbelievable performer for you. The scores he's racked up for Williamstown have been unbelievable, haven't they?
Oh yeah, look what Gary. I'd say he's 14 or 15 years playing on the first team there. It's always about Gary Kelly, like Mark Gary Kelly. That'll be Williamstown. That's all I'm always told. But he's when Gary stands up, he stands up. He doesn't walk away. He's the first man to put his hand up, take a penalty last day. No problem. He said he'd go first. That's leadership. So Gary gets scores. No one else gets them two-handed sometimes, He just pulls them out of the drawer when you need them. So he's fine form this year as well. He's enjoying his football. So he is.
Have you found it hard in Williamstown, maybe with the 1 or 2 lads going to Australia? Has that been difficult for setbacks for a club like Williamstown?
Of course, yeah. Jesus, I could name out 9 or 10 lads there, and they'd be on the Williamstown team with their home, like top class footballer, like Kieran Flatley, like captain of 2017. Jeez, any club would like to have Kieran like playing. You have the Crawn lads. Young Crawn left this year. Jason, he left us in the middle of the year. He was a big loss to us. His brothers over there, there's Kenny lads, Smiths. I think there's 8 or 9 lads over in Melbourne. They're together working on the pitch. We'd only love to have them home here. So we have a lot of lads out. We have a lot of lads away. Yeah, it's very hard. Very hard. A few young lads coming through, not a lot. There's a couple of young lads through the last couple of years now, and a few to come with the help of God in the next couple of years.
With those players then away, it's probably given other players a chance, and they've stepped up and took the opportunity.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. Some lads have stepped up to the plate this year, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
If we look at the final then, Sean, what are you expecting from Carna Cashel at the weekend?
A right good tough battle. Nothing else. They'll fight, they'll keep going to the end. I played against Carna, we played against them as a manager. They're tough boys. They're not going to just turn up and let's have the cup run tonight, so we'll be expecting a good tough battle. So,
have you been able to see much of Carna this year?
We just played them in the league early on in the year now, last February, March. We played them in the first game of the league match, and the bet is out there in Carna. So that's all now I've seen of them yet. So they're chipping along all year, yeah. They've done okay.
How special then is it, Sean, do you think, for both clubs to be the curtain raiser to the senior county final this weekend?
Well, these have brought an extra buzz to us. Curtain raiser the senior final, Pierce Stadium. Like, could you get any better situation like going playing your final? Don't think so. I think They'll draw a big crowd and probably draw an extra crowd that they'll be there for the senior match. They'll come in, a few local clubs will probably come in to see our match. So they'll probably draw a bigger crowd. It's big. Two clubs, like Carna, like it's not that long ago they were senior team. So of course they're looking forward. It's massive for the two clubs.
You talk about this weekend's final, it being the Junior 1 final. The winner of this will go on to represent Galway at Connacht Championship level. You go into the semi-final in that on the 15th or 16th of November. But win this weekend and you have the county final then the following weekend to go up to intermediate against Annadown or Clare Galway.
Yes, yeah. But I'm not looking past that, to be honest with you. One game at a time. I didn't even look at that. Just we're concentrating on Carna Cashel now first and see what happens there.
Finally, Sean, it just shows, I suppose, even to get up to intermediate. Yeah, to get up to intermediate, you'll have 3 cups at the end of the year, but it just does show how tough it is to get back to intermediate too.
Oh, it's massive battle. Massive battle. Every competition in Galway is tough. Like, jeez. Kilrare and Headford, like Carna Cashel, ourselves, like there's not a lot between them clubs, you know. Any given day we could beat each other and they could beat us, so it's just lucky enough we've got through the few games. It's tough games.
Great stuff, Sean. Well, thanks very much for the call and best of luck at the weekend.
Cheers, thank you very much.
So joined now in part 2 of the show by Carna Cashel manager John Casey. First off, John, what's the mood in Carna Cashel like ahead of the Junior 1 final against Williamstown this weekend?
Yeah, it's good. The whole parish is on a bit of a high. There's a buzz around. I just saw my wife there looking on a few, was it Instagram or whatnot of national schools. They were singing all songs about Carna Cashel, and I know they're swapping it in for Killa, is it? I think that's sure. I'd say every club in the country is doing so that has at this time of the year in a county final that sounds anything like Killa. It's going to get overplayed, isn't it? But we're delighted that the community have come on board, and hopefully we have a big crowd in on Saturday to cheer us on.
How have you got things back on track in Carna Cashel, do you feel, from over the last few years? Obviously, you probably haven't been at this stage as much as you wanted over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose this team has been on the go now, I'd say 3 or 4 years. I think it's been building with a couple of young lads coming through at underage and so on. I know, and I was involved for the last, say, 2 years as a selector. But even prior to that, there was a huge effort put in to try and get promotion. No, it didn't work out. And obviously, the last 2 years I've been involved with our other manager there was Morton O'Donoghue from Brannochs. He put in a huge effort, and the lads are believed in what his message was. And this year I just took over and continued more on the same. And all lads have bought in. Now we were lucky. We got a few lads back, and there's a few lads from underage as well that came through that are progressing very nicely now at the moment. And all those, I suppose, combined has led us this far, I mean, and we just hope that this just keeps going, you know.
You look at what Oncarua did last year. They're obviously on the West board last year, and obviously would have defeated you for them to progress on throughout the championship. Has that maybe given you confidence?
Yeah, we always knew last year. I mean, there was always in the back of our mind that Carrow were there. We were in the Westport final the year prior against Clonbur as well, but they beat us. But obviously last year we had a good victory against Clonbur, and we just knew that Carrow that they had that little bit extra. And it was always in the back of our minds, and they beat us, fairly easily in the Westport final. And then they went on to, great things like Croke Park, All Ireland. Yeah, we think about what they've done, but we don't want to try and get ahead of ourselves, thinking that we can go and do the same. We've this game on Saturday, and this is the biggest game of our season. And I mean, we could we could easily be going home with our tails between our legs the next day, because Williamstown are a decent outfit. They obviously came down last year. Their objective is obviously to go straight back up, and we're obviously a hurdle for them, and they're our hurdle, and we'll see who jumps the highest, I guess.
If you look at the, I suppose, group campaign first, you obviously played Renville, you played Clonbur, you played for the Griffins, Airog. You made your way to the final then. You played for the Griffins, Airog, and in fairness, it was a cracker of a game. I presume from a management perspective, maybe probably not ideal, and you probably didn't want it to go down to the wire like that, but you must have been, I suppose, relieved that the way Carna Cashel edged that one out.
Yeah, extremely relieved at the end. There was all sorts of emotions felt throughout the game. Oh yeah. We had it lost, we had it won. Obviously, for most of the game, I was thinking to myself, and I was quite calm on the sideline, I thought, until we went actually a point ahead when we kicked a two-pointer to go a point ahead, where we could have just taken an easy one-pointer, obviously, with the breach. But our free taker was feeling confident. He tapped it over, and I thought, yes, I let go. I thought we had it at that stage. And then, obviously, with the kick out straight afterwards, we gave away a silly free. And they just we were with the gods are on our sides. The goalkeeper just kicked the ball just inches wide, and yeah, the relief was unbelievable. Yeah, and we celebrated that. No, we were very, very happy. We were very lucky. I mean, if we had gone out losing that day, we couldn't have been disappointed because Father Griffin their Oak were as good as us, if not better.
Just on that, you obviously mentioned the last few years, maybe it hasn't went your way in the Westport, but from management and players, was it just important to get through the Westport final and end up here?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we had two objectives at the beginning of the year. We looked at the league campaign and we figured, look, if we were to go to progress either this year or next year out from junior to intermediate, we had to try and maybe get up in the league and try and play, teams that are slightly better, and that would bring us on as well. So we achieved that objective. We lost in the league final to Kilkerran Clonbur, but two teams went up. So we were delighted that we got that, and that set us up nicely for the Westport. And then we had obviously a huge win against Renville. Starting off, we were nervous because like last year they ran us close as well, but we played really well that day, and we didn't take the foot off the throttle throughout, and we banked up a big score, and we thought things were going well, but then we played for the Griffin within Galway, and they turned us over, and that brought us right back down to reality again. Not that we thought we were going to beat them easily, but we figured, look, we could, at this stage we're going well. We should have a good chance, but we've never found it easy within Galway or anywhere to beat them, and then obviously to turn them over in the final ourselves, that was huge for us, and it has led us to this far. Even though I suppose I forgot to mention the Clonbur, Leaf Pádraig and Orkney. I mean, that was by fingernails, just gnawed off at that stage with the penalty shootout to get through to the Westport final, which was a huge relief to his management, and the lads took a bit of belief from that, thinking that we could just go that extra step.
How big is it then, John, for the community in Carnacashel this weekend? Curtain raiser to a senior football championship final. You've obviously experienced your highs and lows over the last number of years. It's been a while since you were intermediate, but just for the whole community heading to Pearse Stadium this weekend, how big do you feel it is?
That's absolutely massive. Junior is really, really tough to get out of, and I think if either team were to win the next day, they'd have obviously a decent chance against the secondary junior teams who are playing this weekend also. But to get that promotion from junior, I feel that would carry on, like it'd be buoyant next year as such. It'll bring on the lads as well. They'd have a belief, and they could obviously. I think it'd give them a great chance to stay up intermediate, whether that's us, Williamstown, obviously, or the other two teams involved on the other side. Yeah, we haven't been in a final for 13 years. and we've actually slid down the rankings a lot. Obviously, since 2013, we were intermediate. We went down 2012, actually. We went from intermediate to senior, and then 15 we started falling down the ranks, and we ended up down here. And to be honest, I remember winning 2012 intermediate, and it was nearly easier than this, the way it works out, because junior is just a slog. There are 3 or 4 teams there from either side, west and north, that are just vying for it every year and fighting tooth and nail to get up.
What are you expecting then from Williamstown on Saturday evening?
Yeah, we well, we're expecting obviously a team that are, look, they reached the county intermediate county final, was it 4 years ago or so? And obviously some things have gone awry, and they've found themselves, relegated last year. I think they went down to Clonburn. We know that they have obviously a few really nice footballers, and the obvious one is Gary Kelly. I remember playing against him years ago, and he was just kicking points over for fun. Um, so he's a threat. We've done our homework a little bit on them, but we're trying to concentrate on what we can do, and hopefully that we can do it right. Because things can go astray in the final. You can get carried away. You can go ahead and stick to the game plan. You can go off and do your own thing. So we'll be expecting what we know about Williamstown, that they really tackle hard. They've really some strong physical players and some players with finesse, as I mentioned before. And it's going to be a huge battle, and hopefully we can give a good account of ourselves.
Then being this curtain raiser to the senior final, obviously must be sheer delight for Carna Cashel to, I suppose, be part of this curtain raiser, and even for the people who are no longer in Carna Cashel, the fact it's going to be streamed as well this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. Like, obviously this is streaming, and before the big game as well. Salthill, my Cullen, and I think I was looking at the paper there last week. It's like 20 years since we played Salthill in the county final, the senior county final, and now having them, playing, they've gone on to massive things. Obviously, our path was a little bit wayward, but hopefully we can set things right maybe on Saturday. But it's going to be huge. I know I'm getting texts. My phone is hopping. People are texting me, wishing us well from all over the globe. And yeah, look, it's going to be exciting. Plus the fact that there's going to be, it's probably predominantly going to be played under lights. I'd say starting at 5:30. Yeah, so it's going to be dark at 6. So the lights as well will add another thing to it. And I hope the lads are used to the lights at this stage, and that we can put in a decent performance. And obviously those that are watching it can be proud of what we might achieve.
Obviously, there's another final to come next weekend after this if you get over the line, but obviously the winner of Williamstown and Carna Cashel gets to go forward to Connacht.
Yeah, I mean, having watched Caro's escapades last year, and the path to the All Ireland final, I mean, to represent your county at any level, junior, intermediate, or senior, is massive, and you're just going to try yourself out against the best teams in Connacht, which is huge, and it should give either team a boost. And obviously, then there's the fact of the game for promotion against a secondary junior team. But this is a great caveat, anyways, the Connacht to look forward to. So I guess we'd be super excited if we win to get into that stage, and I'm assuming Williamstown will be exactly the same.
Just finally, John, you mentioned there a potential playoff, obviously, if you're successful this weekend against Down or Clare Galway to go up to intermediate. I suppose to get up to intermediate, you'll have to have 3 cups on the table at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what it takes now. I think this came in, was it 2 or 3 years ago, where the secondary and junior play on their own side, and yeah, I'm not quite sure whether it's good or bad. I know it gives probably junior one teams, or primary junior teams, maybe a little bit more of a chance in the early stages. because obviously if those secondary senior teams or secondary junior teams were primed with a few senior players, that could upset the whole league or the whole format. At this stage now, I'm not sure what kind of teams they'll be fielding. Either team, or I don't, and either ourselves or Williams, I won't be worrying about that until say Saturday, come 7 o'clock-ish, and obviously then either team that can there'll obviously be some celebrations, whether it's here or over in Williamstown, and then I think maybe Monday, maybe we can, either team can look forward to the next stage.
Great stuff, John. Thanks a million for that, and
All right.
best of luck at the weekend.
Thank you, Paul. All right,